French fries, pizza, cupcakes might all be expelled from public schools in Hamilton, the school board wants to do a clean sweep. Toss the junk food, add whole wheat buns and fruit kebabs. Other schools in the province have nibbled away, too, at improving the menu in cafeterias, but the proposal in Hamilton is really strict. It even goes as far as banning chocolate bars as a fundraiser. We're going to hear more about the details in a moment, but we'd sure love to hear your take on this dietary shift. Does a proposal like this go far enough? Do you wish something like this would happen at your school? Maybe you think having a cupcake to celebrate a birthday is just fine. At the core of all this is a question that we all struggle with. What is the best way to win over kids to eating healthier food? Honey or vinegar, so to speak? Call us at 1-888-817-8995. 1-888-817-8995. Remember, that is toll-free anywhere you're listening to in Ontario today. Our guest is Krys Croxall, the Superintendent of Education for the Hamilton Wentworth School Board. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So let's start with the big picture. I mean, how much a problem is unhealthy food in your schools? What's going on now?
Well, I don't think it's just our schools. I think we have to look to some of the most recent studies about obesity among young children, and studies that show, for example, in 2007, Canada was fifth out of the 34 OECD countries with childhood obesity rates. The chronic diseases that are on the rise and being seen in more young children or teens than we would have normally thought would be the case. And I think some of this does come from some of our lifestyle. And I think the government, the Ministry of Education, is trying to do some things with this. You see the recommendation for daily physical activity, where children have 20 minutes of vigorous physical activity every day to try to do something on the physical side of it. But I do think food is contributing to this too, and our board has decided that they would like to be a role model for the creation of healthier food environments and try to protect our children from the negative effects of consuming foods that have minimal nutritional value.
So bring us into some of the schools. I mean, what kind of stuff is there now, or what do you see with the habits that you might see that would be of concern?
Well, there are some things that we need to say about some of our schools are already on the path to creating healthier environments and working with public health. They have health action teams, and they're doing a lot of things already. But as a general rule, I would say that some of the things that are mentioned in the policy, food being used as rewards, food in terms of fundraising, some of the special food days that are offered, such as hot dog days or pizza days, where the pizza is of a more unhealthy kind, like with pepperoni and so forth. Those kinds of things, those are things that we see in our schools in general, and we'd like to do something about.
Okay, let's walk through some of it so that people can relate. And again, we're giving examples. These are public schools, right, in Hamilton, and still at the proposal stage, although it sounds like the trustees seem to be on side, at least.
Well, I think the trustees want to set a very firm message, but we are in a consultation period, and I really want to emphasize that. This is the work that has come out of a scoping document that the trustees did pass, which looked at all these different areas, and they gave us some directions to follow. But we do want to hear from the community, because there may be some places where the community isn't prepared to go, and I think one of the issues that we have to deal with is your vinegar or honey type of approach.
Right.
I think if we could put forward a policy that is rational and makes sense from a health point of view, but doesn't provide too many restrictions or make parents or students feel that they're not part of the process and they don't have some choice in the matter, that could be a problem. We don't want total opposition from the beginning. We want people to work together with us on this.
So hot dog days, in or out?
Well, it would depend. I think we'd have to look at if it's the kind of hot dogs that we may have been providing that are the, not the healthy kind of hot dog, but if you were looking at something that was maybe a tofu dog, veggie dog, or a one that's made from turkey or something like that, that might fit within it, depending on the other things that were offered with it. So if we had that with veggies or milk and a whole wheat bun or something like that. That would probably fit within the guidelines.
You mentioned no food for good behavior, so specifically like in the classroom or something?
Yes, we do have instances where teachers use little mini chocolate bars or jelly beans, or sometimes we hear rewards being given if a class has, read so many books that they get a pizza party or something like this. Like, we really are trying to encourage, personal responsibility for learning and achievement, and not to connect food with that. It's almost like a Pavlovian response. We don't want to connect food with that. We want children to be more self-motivated.
Pop?
Well, pop is already banned in our elementary schools in terms of vending machines, and I would say that most of our, if not all of our schools, do not do pop on a regular basis. There may be some special events where pop is offered, but you certainly wouldn't find it in our vending machines.
Okay. Let's talk about this sort of something. We use food to celebrate, right? And I know this comes up in every school. So let's use the example of cupcakes on birthdays.
Right.
In or out?
Well, we would like to discourage that, certainly. We are allowing for schools to have a certain number of days when foods of minimal nutritional value are served, and the policy states 5 in the school year, and we hope that the school would work with its parent community and decide what those days might be for special events where there might be an ice cream party or hot dog day or something like that, because we do understand that in the normal purview of things, people are going to come into contact with and want to eat once in a while foods that may not be terribly good for them, but they like the taste of, or something along those lines.
Well, yeah, because one of the concerns might be, and we'll go to our phones in just a moment, we are asking about the best way to tempt children into making healthy choices, but eating a healthy diet is about moderation and balance, and we have to be realistic, I guess, because in the real world, all those choices do exist.
That's right. But we have children at school, a captive audience for 5 or 6 hours in the school day, and during that time, I think what the board wants to do is be a model of healthy nutrition. There's another 20 hours or 19 hours in the school day when students have the opportunity to partake of other things, and we would hope that through the education that we're providing as well, because it is part of the Ontario curriculum, but through the education and the modeling that we will have in our schools, that students will start to learn the importance of making healthy food choices.
Okay, just really quickly, let me ask you 2 other things, because I want to start to integrate our callers. Any restrictions for what students can actually bring in his or her lunch?
No.
Okay.
That is totally parent and student choice. We would not do anything to restrict that choice.
Okay, and the rules are also applying to teachers, right? Like there's no special dispensation for grown-ups behind closed doors?
The rules would be for teachers in any sense where the board provides the food. So at staff development sessions, and we've already started to do this, is to provide healthier options rather than the donuts, and any other kind of event where the board is providing the food to teachers.
So again, like the Timbits that people would use a lot,
right.
Or no Timbits, you've got to go for the fruit platters or something.
That's right, the fruit platters, the grains, the crackers, that type of thing.
Are the teachers giving you any pushback on this?
Actually, it's very interesting because we've already started this, as I said, around some of our principals' meetings, and actually there's been a lot of good comment about the tasty, healthier snacks that we are providing. We've been doing fruit for a number of years now, and certainly looking at whole grains and veggie trays and that kind of thing. So not really, no.